On a previous video, I talked about doing a video on just adding a water feature to draw in bucks to see if it'd make any difference. On my property, and I've just got about 15 acres, I don't have any water, but there's water all around. There's creeks and there's a river, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of water. As I've stated before, research has shown that white-tailed deer need at least one water source within 1 square mile. And you're gonna get tired of me hear me saying this, but that's a 640 acres. So anyway, I've got water, plenty of water around. And at the same time, 50 to 90% of their vegetation is made up of water. So they get a lot of the water from what they eat. And I want to see if I add this small water feature to my property, does it make any difference? Does it make some improvement? Now, what I'm thinking is, where is a buck going now, to get his water? And can I change his habit or his routine? If he's going to someone else's property to get it, or is he going, back on national forest to get it? Wherever he's going now, can I influence him to a degree to come to my property and get his water, whatever water needs he's got? So that's the key, because I know there's plenty of water around and the deer can get water from those different areas. So I'm just going to add this water feature to my property to see if I can influence a buck or bucks to coming over here and getting their water from my property, and thereby giving me a better chance of getting a buck. So, all right, basically what I've done here, I just went out and bought, it's called a little water pond or planter, whatever. Some people put pumps in these and make a little water feature at their house, put lily pads and stuff like that in. And this is only about, I think it's 10 gallons, 9 to 10 gallons. So that means 2 5-gallon buckets. It's not gonna be that much maintenance on my part. Plus, if I get any rain, then rain's gonna help fill it up. Now, one thing I did research is this is environmentally resistant type of plastic. So that's gonna be UV resistant, cold, hot, etc. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in, and I've already located an area where I want this to be. One thing I want you to try to avoid is putting it where you want it to be. And that may be an option that you want to do later on. But on my property, I had a slate cut done, and I've had several roads cut in. Those are not natural. So the deer weren't traveling those. Now they are traveling on those to a degree, but they're still cutting across. Right here's a trail going right through here. You can see it. So they're still cutting across this ridge, doing what they normally do. And they're cutting across this ridge, going up there, and you can see where I've got my side-by-side, got kind of a little bench right here. See where I've been turning around? It kind of flattens out here. And what they do is they hook around this. So what I had planned on doing is, I'm gonna put the water feature up there on a natural trail, not on the logging road that I had, cut several years ago, although they are using it. A couple things I'm trying to plan for is runoff. You don't want to get filled full of dirt or mud or anything like that. So I'm gonna leave it probably a couple of inches above the ground, and I'm gonna ditch around it to make sure that if there's any runoff from a heavy rain, it goes around it. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it, and I just talked about a little bit, is I want to put it in a natural area, an area where the deer are more naturally coming through, traveling through on a normal travel pattern, so they'll find it. And then ideally, and I don't know how well this is going to work, but where I've got an idea of where I want to put this, it's going to be within bow range. So we've had plenty of rain this year, but what happens all of a sudden we go through a dry spell? Well, that 10 gallons, 9 to 10 gallons influence some bucks to come in here? I don't know, but if it does, I want it to be within that 30-yard distance where I can get a shot at one of them, okay? So there's 3 things that I'm thinking about, and there's probably some more things, but that's what I'm thinking about right now, is put it in an area that they're naturally coming through, avoid the runoff, get it within bow range. And then just one other thing, and this is just, for my property in particular, I'll put it on the back side. So this is on the west side of my property. And to me, it's a little bit more secluded than the front side, the east side. So I'm gonna put this water feature in a more of a secluded area. So let's get started. Okay, as you can see, water in my bucket on the right up here, most of it dumped out. I need to get a lid for it. So here's the area I've got picked out. You notice there's an old rub right there. But my tree stand location is down there. Mineral lick, I've done a video of that before. It's just over there, probably 15 yards away. And these deer are coming around. You see the trail going around down through there. You probably can't see it, but I've actually got a ladder stand down there. And this is in the afternoon, sees the sun. This is on the west side. Looks like we got deer bedding there. I saw another bed somewhere else. So I'm gonna try to put it right in here. We've had some high winds here lately, and there's several trees blown down. There's one right there, and there's one over there. And there was another on the way up. And just a quick tip, anytime you have some high wind, something like that come through and blow a lot of trees down, it creates an opening, and then the sunlight can hit the ground, try to get a lot of vegetation. Deer will pick up on that, so if you see an area like that, it might be a good place to hang a stand. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get started. I'm just gonna start digging this, and I'm gonna leave the rim. This is about 2 inches, probably not quite. I'm gonna leave at least the rim above, and I'm trying to get level as level as possible in the ground, and I'll put that little bit of water that I've got. Not gonna be enough to fill it up. I'll have to bring another one up here. But any rainwater is gonna come in it. Then I'm gonna ditch around this to prevent any runoff. I don't want any runoff getting in there and making it muddy. I don't think the deer would care, but if I get a lot of residue or sediment in there, that's gonna fill up the little pond, and I won't have that much water. So then evaporation is gonna take its toll on it. I don't want it to evaporate. So I'm gonna be able to get as much water as I can. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. I got my mattock, and I'm just gonna start digging this out. That tree right there, perfect for this. We got a slope this way, so I'm going to have to dig down in here, so the bottom may be sticking up more than the top part. Should have brought a level with me. Okay, making short work. This is soft ground in here, a lot of good topsoil. A few roots to go through. Yeah, like I said, I should have brought my level up here. Just want to make sure I got plenty of support underneath it, because you know what they're going to do. They're probably going to step in it. And I don't know how tough this stuff is, but hopefully it'll resist the deer putting their hooves through it. I'm going to line the bottom with some rocks to try to prevent any type of puncture from the deers. But looking pretty good so far. I'm going to put my water in it. Water seeks its own level. So it looks like we're pretty good this way. It's this way. That looks pretty good. We'll fill it up. Might be off just a little bit. That looks better. Not much water. Dumped most of the water out. Now what I'm gonna do is find me some rocks like this. I'm gonna line the bottom. Okay, less than 30, 45 minutes. I've got my water feature. Take a look. I left a lot of the plants and vegetation around it. I didn't want to clear it off because this is probably gonna spook the deer till they get used to it. Got the bottom lined with rocks because I know the deer are gonna step in this. I wanna make sure I've got the bottom protected where the hooves can't puncture it. I don't know how durable this material is going to be, but deer hooves are, pretty sharp. So just use the water to level it with, and it looks pretty close. I mean, I might be off just a little, but it's not too bad. What I think I'll do is next time I come up here, bring some more water. Maybe bring 2 5-gallon buckets, and maybe I'll net 5 gallons when I get up here. Put some more water in it, and then I'm gonna put my trail camera up, and I'm gonna put it up in the tree like I normally do. Put it up high, get it out of the deer's line of sight, ears, and their nose. And I've already done one little study. I've been bringing some soft mast up here. I mean, this is my property. I've just got a lot of apple trees, and they've been producing really good this year. So I've been bringing some soft mast up here, and I left my camera up for over 2 weeks. Didn't get anything but does, okay? No bucks at all. So what will this water feature do? Can't hurt. And like I said, all I want to do is try to influence a buck. If he's close by, maybe he won't go to another area to get water, but he'll come over to my property to get water. So I got it in, looks pretty good. I think they'll probably be a little spooked. I don't know how much smell is in that plastic. I mean, the plastic's an oil byproduct, so it's made out of oil. So I don't know how long it's going to take them to get over it, but once they get adjusted to it, and there's a lot of beds in here, there's droppings in here, like I said, got this old rub right there. Will it influence the bucks to come in? That's what I'm after. We're all after that mature buck, old mossy horn. So adding this feature, this is just something else, and I've talked about it before. Just kind of go through your property, make an inventory of what you have, what you don't have, and what you're willing to improve on. I don't have water, and I don't have soft mast either. And if you look right down here, I found some just damaged fencing, got it at a reduced price, and I'm gonna cut it in strips instead of buying 300 feet and having it 4 feet high. I'm gonna cut it in strips, so I'm thinking I can get 4 strips out of that, so I'll get 200 feet out of it. It'll be about 4 inches wide, but then I'll leave a little gap, but then the deer won't go through it. And I'm gonna put that around my apple trees because my apple trees have gotten big enough now where the limbs need to branch out. And I've got those cages around them to prevent the deer from rubbing them and from over browsing them. So anyway, that's gonna put a wrap on the water feature to try to draw some bucks in. It's something you can do. Just go in and take a look at your property, see what you have, what you don't have. How much did it cost? This was less than $20 for that. And like I said, it is environmentally rated plastic, which is key. You don't want it to break down or decompose. Probably not going to decompose, but it will break down and get brittle and crack. And add a little bit of work to it, a little sweat. Don't know, we'll see what happens. So I'll keep you guys updated on it. I'm gonna set my trail camera up. I'm gonna get out of here. Got to try to get some B-roll on some deer moving. Sat in here last night on some public land. Didn't see a deer. So hopefully I can see a deer this afternoon and get some B-roll. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time.